And according to what you're going to hear from Sheldrake here, there were all kinds of different variations and permutations of this so-called 100th monkey effect, but he very nicely debunked it for us. So let's hear what he has to say. What I've heard of the story is that Japanese researchers dropped sweet potatoes down for monkeys. Some of the sweet potatoes were falling in sand. The monkeys couldn't eat them. And once approximately 100 monkeys learned to wash off the potatoes, then they could eat them comfortably. Then all of a sudden, all the monkeys on all the islands and the mainland all started to be able to do this washing. So is that how you see it, or was there a lot of
well, that's the usual version of the 100 monkey story.
Right.
The 100 monkey story is saying something very similar to what I'm saying. It looks like morphic resonance. The only problem is it's not scientifically very reliable. I prefer the 1000th rat, because we've got, that's a proper laboratory experiment. But the 100th monkey story is actually misleading in one sense, that I don't think it's a critical threshold. The 100th monkey implies that nothing happens till the 100th monkey, then they all do it. That's not how it works. And how that story originated is interesting. The writer Lyle Watson, who was a biologist, and I knew him quite well.
Hey, he's got some great books.
Some very good books. Lyle Watson worked with researchers in Japan who were working on monkeys, and they told him they'd noticed that when they fed them sweet potatoes to get them out on the beach so they could film them, they couldn't see them if they were in the forest, they fed them deliberately to get them out on the beach. That they did this with monkeys on one island, and when they went to other islands, after the monkeys on the first island had learned to wash the potatoes to get the sand off them, on the other islands the monkeys seemed to pick this up quicker. That's what they told him. And that's probably a perfectly reliable fact, although it wasn't published in a quantitative way. In his book, Lifetide, Lyle Watson says, he said, let us imagine, for the purpose of argument, that on a particular day, say Tuesday, an extra monkey, say the 100th monkey, learned to wash the potatoes. Then, all over Japan and all over the world, all the monkeys started doing it. He makes it clear that he's exaggerating. He's telling a story, let us suppose, for the purpose of argument, etc. When this was repeated, when people heard the story in lectures and that sort of thing, or from friends, then the story gradually improved in the telling until in some versions it ends up with sweet potatoes actually growing there and monkeys suddenly all over Japan digging them up and finding this whole new food source and washing them when you reach a critical mass of a 100th monkey. Until then, and it was used in the anti-nuclear movement as an argument, if enough people think peaceful thoughts, suddenly the whole world will turn peaceful.
Right.
That was where it was mostly propagated, this story. But interestingly, you see, they were using a nuclear metaphor in the anti-nuclear movement. Critical mass is a nuclear metaphor.
Right.
Until you get a certain amount of uranium, nothing happens, then suddenly you've got an explosion. But actually, the data from these rat experiments show something much more gradual. The more rats that learn it, the easier it gets.